Hi, I'm Bart Hanson, the owner and operator of CrushLivePoker.com. The following hand comes from our call-in show that we record at 4:45 p.m. Pacific Time every Monday. If you want to call in your hand, check out the phone number in the description.
So we're in a limp pot, right? We're in the big blind.
What's the size of the game?
It's a 1-3.
And
The
it's a
cap is 100 big blinds, but
okay.
we're 620 effective.
And this is an underground game in New York?
No. I'm actually in California. I'm playing in a casino.
What casino? All right, like LA casino or no, it
San
probably wouldn't be.
Diego.
Okay. Okay.
So the villain in this hand is a tight female player who's been playing her strong hands very aggressively.
Okay.
So she limps under the gun +1. We get another limper in middle position,
Mhm.
a limper on the button. The small blind completes, and I check with pocket sixes.
Okay, so you've got
So
6-6 and you check, so it's about 5 ways, right?
it's 5 ways. Um, the flop comes jack of clubs,
Mhm.
8 of clubs,
Mhm.
6 of diamonds.
Bottom set, okay.
All right. So the small blind checks. I lead out for 10. Villain calls, middle position calls, button calls, and the small blind folds.
So 3 callers in the field.
Yes.
Okay.
So now the turn comes. It's the 6 of spades. So we're
So you,
pretty happy to see that,
so
obviously.
you make quads.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now I lead out for 30.
I like that, by the way. I mean, it's interesting you said the way that you played this hand. Like, you could go for a check raise on this flop. It's a
Right.
draw heavy flop, and you can get some more money in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could lead out, but when the turn comes to 6, I definitely like leading out because, again, you are handcuffed by your position. Similar, I don't know if you heard some of the other callers, because if you just go check call, now you could go check call, lead the river, true, but a lot of times on the turn it might get checked through. And if somebody with the jack bets, how are you going to get more money in? Because if you check raise, they're probably going to fold, although it is 1-3. I guess you could min click up a check raise on the turn, or you could check call and then lead the river. But it sucks to be out of position in low stakes games with nutted hands and try to play it tricky because people don't bet enough on the river. That's kind
Exactly.
of
Yeah.
the
I mean, when I
consistency of
get
these hands from this week.
when I get strong hands and I'm playing, smaller games,
Yeah.
I tend to play them strong. I don't,
Okay. Yeah.
when I call in next week, you'll see, um, with the other hand that I played. So, I'm thinking here, we're nutted. Let's try to get more money in. Hopefully we get, multiple callers again and we can build the pot up. That's my
Mhm.
thinking.
Mhm.
But to my being extremely happy, the villain here raises to 85. So right away I'm like, yes, boom, we got her. She's got pocket eights. This is how she's been playing all night, and we're gonna try to get all the money in here. So she raises to 85.
And she was
The other two,
UTG, like UTG, right, or early position?
yeah, she's UTG +1.
Okay. Okay.
So she raises to 85, and already I'm dancing in my head.
Mhm.
And middle position folds, button folds, and now I'm just thinking, how are we gonna get all this money? So, all right. So like I said, we're 620 effective. She's been playing all her strong hands strong.
Mhm.
So now I'm like, all right, we're gonna try to get more money in here. I 3-bet it up to 225.
Okay.
Now she thinks for about 30 seconds, giving me a little bit of a stare. I'm hoping that's just Hollywood, and she calls. All right. So now we're going to the river. I'm thinking, yes, we got her. All right. The river, we got about 500 in there, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And we got about 380, 385 behind.
Mhm. Let me guess. The river's
And
an 8.
no,
Oh, okay.
the river is the 9 of clubs.
Oh, nine
All
of
right.
clubs. Okay, so it brings in a straight flush.
All right.
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking, perfect. You know, we only lose to one hand, but everything got there. Most of the multi-way draws, club draw got there. I'm still thinking she's got the full house the way this is played. So I'm like, all right, we're gonna put this in. We're gonna go for max value. I shove for 385,
Hmm.
and she just goes into the tank. And I'm like, what can she have here? Like I'm just sitting there hoping that she calls. She winds up folding. She tanks for about 2 minutes and she folds. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, what does she call me with the turn and then folds the river? I was like, should I bet less? Should
Well,
I, bet 300 instead of all in?
well, couple interesting things about the river here. Does that game play with the bad beat jackpot in it? Because usually it does.
I'm not really sure because I was literally just visiting the casino
Because
for one day.
if you get called and you lose, you win the bad beat
Right.
jackpot.
Right.
So you
You,
have to,
you
I
know what?
mean,
I'm
this
not
is a
sure.
once in career type of situation where I don't think you're ever folding quads, but sometimes you have to be aware of that if you don't have the best hand here, you're going to win a shit ton of money for the bad beat
Yeah.
jackpot. Now, I think
Yeah.
that the discussion here is on the turn whether or not you three bet. I
Okay.
would probably tend to just three bet a little. See, again, you're at. Well, let's look at the river first. The only thing that I can think
Okay.
of that she might have raised the turn with, she was the first limper, right?
Yeah, she was the first limper.
She might have had pocket aces or pocket kings. That's the only thing
Okay.
that makes sense. Maybe she's got aces.
Okay.
You bet out on the flop. She just called. It's scary. There's many people behind. Now on the turn, you bet out again on the turn. Unless you're full, she probably
Right.
thinks she has the best hand, so she clicks it up. You re-raise, and then she doesn't think that you have a full house because you wouldn't re-raise. And then when the club comes, now she doesn't beat anything. I mean, that's the
Right.
only thing that makes sense to me here.
Okay. I wasn't even thinking pocket aces or pocket kings because literally, like, she sat down with 200. She was playing for about 2 hours,
Hmm.
and every premium hand she had, I mean, she had about 800 in front of her at the start of the hand. Every premium hand she had
Yeah.
was raising up, playing strong. If she hit, she played it strong. So she wasn't playing very tricky, and I was like, you know what I'm trying to say, Bart?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
but I
I
understand what you're
don't know.
saying. But people who don't play hands tricky, just because somebody plays their strong hands strong, doesn't mean that they're occasionally not going to throw in a limp re-raise with a big pair.
Okay,
I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense to me is pocket aces, really.
pocket aces. All right.
And I mean, I guess she could have Jack eight too, Jack eight suited
Right.
if she's
That was
playing.
the only thing I was thinking. Jack eight, but I was like, can Jack eight call me when I three bet? Like,
The more I think about it, the more I like your three bet, even though people on the surface
yeah.
can't believe it. Because the reason why I like your three bet, although I might have gone a little bit smaller, is because
Okay.
she's raising with a bunch of people behind her. So when you
Right.
lead the flop and then you lead the turn, she's never going to be light there with three people behind her.
Right.
Like she's not going to be raising with some sort of combo draw or raise, you know what I mean? So
Okay.
and again, if you call and then check the river, she just might check a hand back. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm sure when you three bet the
Yeah.
turn, you just expecting her to get to shove on you, right?
When I three bet, all I'm thinking is if when I get called, I either want to get shoved on or I want to be able to bet the river for less than the pot.
Right.
I want to try to get all the money in. That's all I'm thinking.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, it's interesting. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Sounds like
All
you're a
right.
first
All right.
time caller. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Hey guys, if you like what you've seen here, please click on the subscribe button and you'll get notified every time we put up a new video. And if you want to check out crushlivepoker.com for the first month free, use the code YTA100. Click on the link right there.